It's locked.
Good evening, sir.
So it is true.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once.
Dr. Tip...
He was also very confident.
Corcoran, I want you to tell me about Mr. Connor. How did he die? What happened?
He was my patient. He died because of my mistake. That's the blunt truth.
What was the nature of the mistake?
It was a twofold error. My diagnosis was wrong.
Why not stop practicing?
Are you mad? I killed that man, I admit it, and it...
Who was this patient?
I don't know. Some sick man from the docks. Maybe...
What can you tell me about the stuff?
Some are really good, and others are not.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah, yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me...
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please...
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better...
It's more than enough. In any case, the personnel of a hospital are much more important to me than the building.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
If Pembroke is still standing after this epidemic, there's good reason to be proud.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet, with all the money and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin colour that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you, Doc.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doc.
What's going
It
on?
was tired.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other.
You do realize you could both get fired. Hospital staff are not meant to have intimate relationships with one another.
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you know how many rules are broken?
Goodbye, Milton.
They know we are overwhelmed by this horrifying epidemic.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than...
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here.
An invisible enemy? Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Tell me what Dr. Tippett did. I know his mistake caused a patient's death.
If I had not covered up his error, Dr. Tippett would have been fired from this hospital. I could not let that happen.
You can't allow your emotions to dictate your conduct concerning patients, Nurse Brannigan.
Look around you, Dr. Reed. Do you really think we can afford to lose a brilliant practitioner like Dr. Tippett in our situation?
I can't say I approve of what you did. But as a field surgeon, I know that some situations require you to bend the rules.
I'm not proud of what I've done, but to contain the epidemic must be our priority, so we can't afford to lose Dr. Tippett.
Why does Dr. Tippett claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
I've decided that I won't reveal Dr. Tippett's, shall we say, misdemeanor.
I'm so glad you share my point of view. Dr. Tippett is a brilliant practitioner. We most definitely need his know-how.
I hope you're right. This is a huge risk we're taking.
Dr. Tippett must regain his confidence. Please, keep this decision between you and me. He doesn't need to know you found out.
Tell me what...
If I had not...
You can't...
Look around.
I can't say...
I'm not proud.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance. Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more, unto the breach.
Nurse Brannigan is worried about you, Doctor.
She should not have told you that. I will have a word with her.
You don't have to blame her for her honesty.
I'm not that kind of man, my dear Jonathan. Actually, Nurse Brannigan's opinion is the only one I may listen to.
Corcoran, I want you to tell me about Mr. Connor. How did he die? What happened?
He was my patient. He died because of my mistake. That's the blunt truth.
What was the nature?
It was a
Why? Why not? Goodbye, Dr. Tippett. Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed.
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal.
I beg your pardon?
What are you beg-
You keep calling me mortal. Why?
Well, Dr. Reed.
Who are you, Reed?
Is that not enough?
I'm curious.
No, it was such a long time ago, I don't remember.
I'm assuming
It's only a cover.
the staff here.
I'm not speaking.
I see.
Thank you, more.
Who are the...
I cannot.
And why do you
I
believe...
don't need to believe.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh.
I see. Have...
Never.
It's...
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Time has lost its effect on me, but the suffering continues.
Good evening, sir.
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position...
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off.
Where were you...
I really...
No offense.
You were an...
How is your...
Oh, it's...
Can I ask you...
It's the pain.
Who is treating?
No.
You don't seem...
The face.
Can I do it?
Nurses.
How close are you to Miss Hallcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person. She's quite harmless, I can assure you.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops.
She could decide to bite less.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay.
You do realize...
In her madness.
Goodbye for now.
Damn.
No, she could be sick again. There again with the fever.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
How would you describe this?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't...
I wish I could believe you. But what...
You must get a hold of yourself.
Sorry. I'm exhausted. No one has...
How is the...
Well, not well.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned. Milton is not the chatty type.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
How long have you been a nurse?
Or long enough to see that... Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
Pepper, I know you're very close to Milton Hooks.
Yes? Milton Hooks is my man. If you want to report me for that, just feel free, Doctor.
I have no intention of reporting you, Nurse Hawkins, but are you aware of the risks?
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as a nurse anymore. But here at the Pembroke...
Is he worth the risk?
Hey.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. It's locked, all right. Good evening, Nurse.
Good evening,
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Daily routine. Damn. The pain. It's there again.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor.
Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Hello again, Dr. Reed. I feel better already. Can I go soon?
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
They belong to you now.
The life running in your veins.
It's locked.
Spare your obedient slave.
If only there were more of us, less resignation and more determination.
I know I can count on you. I wish I could say the same for the others.
You look exhausted. You're pushing yourself too hard.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor.
Goodbye, Milton.
The giant morgue disguised as hospital.
It's locked, all right.
The pain. It's here again.
Another night with the glorious Patel.
Good evening.
Good evening, Doctor.
I'd like to...
Wise choice, Doctor.
Good evening, Mr.
Good evening,
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Yes, Doctor?
Exactly how bad is the supply situation here at Pembroke?
It really depends. Dr. Swansea
Why then do you always...
at the Pembroke.
Your dedication to the
We staff get
lack of...
London's trench.
Please, could you point me...
It's the large
That's all for now, Nurse
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen. As for me, what a blundering idiot.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Tell me, Waverley, what do you...
Strickland.
Are you thinking...
Harvey Fit.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
My sweet girl. Treats me like a bull.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
I'm okay.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seemed...
My mother just...
Pembroke
Stop.
Is your mother...
That's
How painful.
so painful.
I have to go now.
Good evening, sir.
Hospital seems to be falling apart.
Doctor.
But... Good evening, Doctor.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What...
The ambulance driver was quite rude.
What do you mean?
She managed to...
I share your concern.
I don't expect...
She charged...
Yes.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Treats me like a bull.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
I'm okay.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen. As for me...
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding?
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Mr. It's locked.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Mr. Chidana. I cannot enter.
Yes?
That's all for now, Nurse Crane, thank you.
How long must I wait, damn it? Blaming me will not further your agenda, sir. How long's it going to take to fix me properly? A month? A year?
Open it!